Okay. Can you hear me now, right?
Yeah, I can hear you well.
Okay, then I'll what do I do? Actually, I'll just watch the stream on my phone. But I can't do that because the stream is private and I cannot see it. How the fuck do I see my own stream? Okay, so I'll watch the stream on my phone and I have Discord and everything on my PC.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll hear you and myself only once. At least that is the hope, that is the dream. But I cannot watch it on my phone. Ah. Ow. I don't know where to put it, so I'll just send it to you. And I'll open it from there, I think. Except it doesn't work. That's verdant. Okay, say something.
Yeah.
Okay, say something.
The link didn't work. The link didn't work. The link didn't work.
Say just one word.
Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Okay, you are actually louder than me. Huh. Okay.
You have this iPhone headset. You have this iPhone headset. You have this
No, but this
iPhone
is
headset.
good. No, but this is good. Okay, sounds good to me. Um, and then this looks good. So I think we can basically start. We are live on the internet.
Okay.
Amazing. I should also remember to put some degree of game volume. Uh, oh, now it's great because I know how loud you are. I can gauge everything in the game by comparing
Mm-hmm.
it to you. That's perfect. And actually, I'll copy it from. Apparently, I have a viewer already.
It's me.
Nobody in the chat. How do I? Okay, show it. Okay, I shared the thing, so we now have the possibility of receiving 100% more viewers, putting us up to 2. I have the chat in front of me, there is nothing written in it. So then we can get going. Before we get going, however, I'll do a little bit of ASMR again. So do it in front of the microphone as it should be done. Yes. Get the bottom of the glass wet so that it doesn't make much foam. And now we can pour it. Ah, yes. Perfect. Like the commercials. Lovely, now let's put the sound dampening, I forgot what it's called, back on. So that you don't hear my keyboard too loud, and let's get to it. So I said we'll look at some replays. I have a bunch of them, most of them are shit, but some of them ought to be good somewhere. Let's start with the 140 since I've heard things about it. Oh, hello. Oh, one is you, and hello, Angie. There you go. My chat wasn't updating properly, and this is too loud, I think. Anyway, we have Esper in the 140 using gun rammer and a copious amount of hit shells. Yeah, penetrated directly into the turret, as you'd expect after the armor nerfs. Yes. Fighting the 1-1 wasn't a bad idea, but fighting the 1-1 while being shot by everyone was a very bad idea for the Leo. No matter, we can change to the Leo. You can see the green lines, sorry, around the reticle were the PC auto aim being enabled. So he's playing on a PC. I don't think it's any good. I've never really used it, but it can be helpful. And something happened. Wait a minute. No, nothing happened. It's an error on my end. Right, clear the desert going to the city, and yeah, the mobility on the 140, you feel it a lot, every single game. Because the base better power to weight, and then you get up to 60 kilometers an hour, which the tank was already fast enough to go to 60 in terms of power. It's the sort of change that you feel all the time. Well, not all the time, but in every game, pretty much. And those stats, mobility and gun handling especially, you feel all the time. And that's why I don't like changes to some of the tanks like the Progetto or the 422. Because every single time I fire, I am worse off. I have a higher chance of missing. Whereas in the armor department for the 422, you don't gain anything. Interesting choice there. I was expecting him to try to finish off the 183. Maybe there was some communication mistake there. They thought his platoon mate would have him, and they didn't count the Kranwagen shells correctly. I think. Anyway, so he has the perfect amount of hit points left at 666. 3 opponents. The Kranwagen is very healthy still. The 183 was a one-shot. good. And now, well, I ideally you want to finish off the low HP target, which you can finish off easier, but he's a one-shot for the 268 with the new alpha. It's, I think, 670. Yeah, 670 now. Needs to be very careful. Have you played the 140 since the changes?
I think yes, but I'm not sensitive enough to feel difference.
Well, it's a pretty big difference.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm there, right? I'm still, it's I didn't play it that much lately, so I would not, I would end up feeling like I don't like it, but would be me, not the changes.
Mhm. Another thing that changed about the 140 is it got an armor buff. No, not an armor buff, sorry, an armor nerf. It got a camo buff. It is now harder to spot, and we potentially saw that at work now while the Kranwagen was unable to spot him at distance. You can't go out of the city through there, can you? No. So the 268 cannot come to him unless he goes to the end of the road like that.
Mhm.
And then you can shoot him while he comes up, and now it both a one shot, but you have a turret and he doesn't. So advantage 140. But nice pick there. The 268 had another advantage, which is the teammate.
Mhm.
Yeah, beautiful stuff here, and you can see the armor working. It's always a gamble, but it's not like some people say where 140 is basically Leo. It isn't. You see it gets bounces. It's not reliable. But in a Leo you get a cheat, while in the 140 you get some bounces. So nicely done there by Esper. 1 versus 3, isolated the targets, solid marksmanship, and nicely highlighted the changes to the tank. Very fast around the map, stayed hidden, and got penetrated in the turret multiple times. Nice.
Interesting was that when the crown approached him, he turned, he looked rather to the sea cap, and by that he offered a weak spot on his turret. So I'm not sure if this was a mistake or if he really thought they're gonna win anyway.
You mean towards the end?
Yeah, it's the was this 2 versus 1 at the end.
Here, you mean?
Exactly. Now he's coming, and by now he knows where he is, and he doesn't look.
Oh, yes. I don't know that. That's I don't know what he's doing, but whatever it is, it's not good for him.
Yeah, it looked like he offered him some damage, because
Yeah,
he was
it's yes,
like
yes.
was sure.
Well, he had shots at the hole anyway, but yeah, turning your turret and giving him extra shots, no good can come out of that. I don't know what the Kranwagen was trying to do. Whatever it wasn't good for him.
It's just I observed that and felt like, oh, that's kind of he was too sure that they win.
I'm not sure about that. Never underestimate tanks, especially when you have a medium against two, because they're fast, they have the view range, they have the camo, they can isolate one tank. It's, never do that. What else do we have? A bunch of games here. Oh, let's do this one. It's from the replay analysis channel.
Mm-hmm.
It's the last game left, and so I want to get it out of the way. So I know I've done it, and then I can link him to the stream. Or just write something. Either one works. The Progetto, Oh, what is that? Okay, let me pause already. Um, Down, you can notice the provisions. He has some cheese. I don't know whether that's big or small food. You should have
Mm-hmm.
both. Or if you're especially scared, you can get big food, big fuel, and protective kit. But normally
Mm-hmm.
you get both big and small food. And for the ammunition loadout, get some heat, please. So 30, 21, 9 would be fine. This does carry a lot of ammo, so you can play around with it. But yeah, as long as you get multiple clips of each shell, for the Progetto specifically, then you're good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know whether he's using calibrated or rammer. I would rather you use the speed boost than the medkit, especially that the Progetto has a good top speed at 58 and is sluggish. It struggles to reach it, but when you're trying to save credits, I can understand this. But there's no excuse to not bring some hit shells.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's continue. I was talking about the nerfs to its accuracy. It now feels pretty darn bad. 0.335, assuming you run it with calibrated shells. Yes. And I meant to say vents earlier, not rammer. Pardon. I don't like the spots. I don't mean to say that it's a bad spot. I mean to say that it's extremely passive. Because if you look at the minimap, there is no one in the middle to spot. Everyone is coming with him. So if you want to go on this side, I would like him to go a bit further forward to see towards the middle, or better you just push up, not into A specifically necessarily, but you can go around it and get some map. Um, this way you see this very small bit and you don't provide any information to your team. The Sheridan didn't either, but you're trying to carry, not get carried. And hello to Adam. And again, we are hiding. Now, of course, if he crosses while spotted, there's a good chance he will get hit in the side, which is one reason why this position isn't particularly good. It's a good trade. In this sort of situation, especially with, with a tank like the Progetto, you want to be going backwards and forwards. So what is the button? Like this. So if you go backwards and forwards to emulate that, at a more aggressive angle, you would be seeing bits of your upper plate and a bit of your turret, a bit of your side. It's a much harder shot for him to hit, especially if he's using... Actually, with the new auto aim, not so much. But the upper plate, every upper plate, so both frontal and side on the Progetto is bouncing at angles. And it can make auto bounce angles, so it's worth in this one to go backwards and forwards to give them a harder shot. Of course you expect to get hit, but sometimes you won't, and that will make a big difference. Uh, she wants to go around, I like that. Gives you better positions. It gives you a better angle, or a different angle to engage the M46 and the 75, which being a higher tier tank, you can fight quite efficiently. I should say effectively. You know what would be very nice in that situation? A heat shell that can go straight to the front of the turret.
Mm-hmm.
This way he would have to aim for the cupola. Please load in the third. Thank you. Nice, there loads in the third shell because there was 2 or 3 seconds left. This way he can get more. It doesn't really matter because the Sheridan would have most likely finished him anyway, but if you can do it for the same result, why wouldn't you? So it's the correct play there. I need to be very careful because somewhere there is an unspotted 183 exactly. Uh, who can penetrate the projectile with hash, so you shouldn't be peeking into it. Bounce. He could circle him, but there's a heavy coming if you look at the minimap, so he shouldn't be going in. See those angles I was talking about? He got an auto bounce out of the side, I think. And now he's asking for help, and the Type 71 misses again. That was very lucky. Normally right now he should be on, what, 400 hit points. Yeah, you should, when you look at the minimap, he had 0 support, enemies had a heavy tank coming in. You don't go into a 1 versus 2. Oh, that was unfortunate. That won't pen either. And that did. So now I think the type should have the reload. To repeat myself, how good would have been to have a hit show there for the upper plate? So that was a big issue, and the second big issue, well, he bounced the shots, basically. The play I made, and then yeah, he bounced because he didn't have hit, and then because the frontal part of this side of the Type 71 has more armor than the rest of the side for whatever reason. So you cannot pen it there with the track, you need to shoot further down the side. Yeah, so not bad. There are some glaring issues, but it wasn't a disaster, definitely not. Now we have a bunch of good games from players that aren't myself, because I didn't have any good games. So we have a bunch of 7-minute games here. Those ought to be fun to watch. A lot of TVP. What do you want to see?
TVP I love.
We have 2 or 3 TVP games. So we have Angry Bird in the TVP on Castilla. We have one Nino in the TVP on Middleburg. Let's watch this one because it's a long one. If you connected pretty late. Another medkit user. And the TVP has better power to weight than the Progetto, so you don't struggle as much with acceleration, but I still like my engine boost. Oh, this is already more active than your usual game. You see there is a heavy up on the hill. Enemies are going for the aggressive play. One of them is the crown wagon down there. You take a beating for it. And we're already bleeding. Yeah, this is the Castilla, I know. You get into position and nothing happens anywhere on the map. Nice position there for the spot. Beautifully done. And there is a tank disadvantage on the medium side, but let me pause real quick to showcase this. The tank destroys all the way here in the corner. Is this as fast? Yeah, this is maximum speed. So we have here the Yak Panzer E100, and the best tank in the game, the W013 GFT. As you can see, have very good shots here on the mediums.
Mm-hmm.
So you are not unsupported, and also the Yag has even better shots. And this is the reason why when you get pushed on the castle side, you can be very efficient by staying in this position. It's not as good as it used to be after the rework. You can't really stay hull down here anymore, but you can get shots easier. And from here, they have to push onto you.
Mm-hmm.
You can pick onto them, or they have to come from behind. And pardon, all of this position is snipeable by those guys. Those guys may be the heavy if he gets up on the hill, if you have control over here, because if the castle is being pushed, then generally speaking your team should have control of that area. So
Mm-hmm.
that is why this position works, because it's supportable across the map. E50M makes a big misplay and is now dead, which means this flank is now 2 versus 2, and the Jagdpanzer got spotted in the bush and blew up instantly, which is relevant for the fight here, because the Jag would have shots. Well, not anymore, because friendly team is pushing, but generally speaking, you can push and clip the T62 actually. Oh, beautiful track shots, and he's dead. Oh, the TVP is just brutal, and the T100 LT, noticing that he cannot really push, decided to go and push on the other side. That's an interesting play. And the 100 is the obvious target for him. Oh, a bit unlucky with the timing. Yeah, notice the patience. He doesn't rush his shots. Just make sure he has the best possible chance of putting it in, and
Wow.
absolutely brutal. It's so quick that the clip time is wow. Yeah, that is like something taken out of World of Tanks PC. Just absolute savage. Oh, I'm very curious to see how this one goes. So the other flank is completely lost. The STB moved into the Jagdpanzer and is now dying, so you're basically in a 1 versus 4. He could have gone to help his STB, would have likely not been able to kill the Jag though, because it's very healthy, and the support is on the way. His advantage as a clipper though is that, well, for one, that you can split your damage across tanks, but also you can kill anyone except for the Jag in 4 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have me on a speaker?
Mm-hmm. On Discord,
Yes, yeah, on Discord, but do you have me on a speaker or on earphones?
earphones.
Interesting, because I thought I heard some sort of feedback. Anyway, misplay by the IS-7, and he gets swiftly sent to the garage to contemplate on his errors. And this position is still very strong, although it's easier to access now, and overall it doesn't seem quite like it used to be. Against heavy tanks like the Kranwagen, it's still going to be hard for them to make their way up. He pushes now, and again, this is the advantage of having such a short internet. You can shoot the autoloader twice before he loads the second shot. Oh, very lucky there with that bounce. The 100 was also lucky to hit him, so it's hit and miss on the luck there, but it would be safer to reload and then you're sure you can clip him, but on the other hand, you need to Thing is, if you take a shot from the 100, beautifully done. If he had taken a shot, he would become a one shot for the Yag. This way, being a two shot, he can afford to take a hit from the Yag. The issue is he needs 2 clips to kill him and he has just 1 minute left. And only 6 hit shells and 9 APs. So, he picked a bit early. Yeah, that's not that's not good. Hello Fahrenheit. Because now he needs 2 clips to finish him off. If he had penned just one more of that clip or the previous one, the Yag would now be a 1 clip and you just push in with AP, you take the hit and finish him off. This way it is pretty much impossible because he doesn't have time to reload the second clip. He would need a max roll or a cheeky ram, but you pretty much need a max. He's aiming for the ammo rack at the back there. Oh no, yeah, it's the ammo rack, and I don't know whether it has fuel tanks at the lower side, but yeah, unlucky there. Bit unlucky with those shots at the end. Very well played. Oh, and the heavies also sort of drove into his waiting gun, but regardless, he did his job. If he had penned one more of those early hits, hit shells on the Yag, it would have been a win. So very tough there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this long clip.
that's the sort of game you want to watch. Middlebird. Actually, you have been playing the TVP quite a bit, haven't you?
Yeah. I have, yeah, once in a while I have nice games, you know, where I really don't do mistakes. I can play hull down, sneaky, you know, from the side, flank. And then, you know, this opportunity when you really can go out and put a full clip in and then...
Yeah, we see Nino here. He got an early clip into the 50 TP, although he wasn't very patient and he missed the first one. Oh, he very nicely hides here, but he needs some help with the LT. Ah. Ow.
Wow.
Yeah, that wasn't the best LT player. Absolutely demolished. And now he runs away, just in time to not get destroyed by the 50B and AV, and after all of that, he's full HP. Somehow. Very sneaky gameplay there, with great timings on all of his moves. Goes for the kill on the T57. He can just aim for the hole. Personally, I still prefer shooting the turret. I think it's easier to aim for, but if the shot goes in, it goes in. And of course, there is always that one TD who stays at the back of the map. And this isn't looking particularly good. Yes, he's hiding now from the T30, hoping to finish off the 100. Nice, and ignoring the T30 because he's being useless. He put himself in a position where he's out of the fight, basically. He covers some corridors, but you can drive around them and then he's useless. He has to move up, and when he moves up, he's an easy target. So nicely done. Now he can clip the FV. And you can see the turret there being bouncier. Got a bounce there. And that might matter now that he only put one shot in the 50B, and also look at the ammunition count.
Mm-hmm.
Only 6 AP shells remaining, so after the next clip he'll have to be careful not to only load 2 shells in.
Yeah.
That's something I always do. I think, okay, need to be careful, look at my ammunition count, and then I reload it anyway. Because I completely forget. Yes. Massive clip there. And now he should switch to one of the other types of ammunition, most likely heat. And to get away from the purely mechanical aspect. Nice move there, again on the 53 TPs, 50 TPs, sorry. Reload, such that he's not directly in the gun of the T-30. He can have a bit of leverage. And now he only has 2 shells, he needs to make sure they connect. And with average rolls, he didn't low roll, and that was very close. Nice game. And hello, Assel. Yeah, that was a close call. So he fired in that game. His loadout was 22-18-8, and he fired all 22 APs and 4 HEs into the LT, but no heat at all. Which is one thing I noticed with TVPs, even though we saw Angry Bird earlier shooting a lot of heat.
Mm-hmm.
Normally you go to clip something in a position where you can just shoot it, so you don't load a lot of gold, you know. Because gold doesn't. Where would you use premium ammo on a tank like the TVP, except for securing kills? Obviously, let's take the entire thing one by one. Not the pattern, the yo. Oh, by the way, look at this. Uh, that's silly looking, isn't it?
Wow. What's that?
Yeah, it's Adam was going mad scientist mode and made some things. Yeah, so you would use it on the yo upper plate sometimes. Maybe D5, E4 cheeks, maybe 3 lower plate, E50M turret, but then you don't want to shoot an E50M turret, do you? E100 from above, VK which fits flat on. Like, there are small targets, Soviet heavies frontally. You generally don't want to shoot hit, is what I'm trying to say. So that's why I don't take as much hit. But then again, if you run out
Yeah.
of AP, you can always shoot heat. If you run out of heat, you can't just shoot AP.
Yeah. I usually try with AP, and if I just confronting an enemy that is very well armored, then I may switch to heat just that I can yeah hit it. But usually I just go with AP.
It's better to be sure it goes in than outright miss.
Yeah.
What happened here? Okay, looks like someone already took care of my of the replay I did in the Progetto, so that's nice. Let's see, what have we here? We have some Swedish guy in the Progetto yet again. Would you look at that? And this time we have a copious amount of heat shells. And I would argue too many HEs, because the HE shells on the Progetto are rather underwhelming. Especially if you play the standard B with, what is it, 100, 120 millimeters of penetration on them. Yeah. interesting situation already with nobody on the entire left side of the map. And neither of the TDs is camping.
He's
Wow.
pretty aggressive.
Yeah, this is interesting. Look at the enemy heavy tank on the left side. What is it? The IS-4 already at very advanced. And the enemy TDs are still unspotted, but I think you can start moving up a bit. Or not. Because the U is coming. And he doesn't want to push into this, even though his team is going. It would be a 4 versus 3, maybe 4 versus 4. That could work. Instead, he wants to go around the entire map. And yeah, look, the enemy light is running. That fight is definitely winning for his team. And I would have gone for that, perhaps only because it's so much faster. Now that is losing. Sorry, but he's not doing anything, so I'm commentating on the other side of the map, even though I can't see it. Well, finally, we get close to the action, and we are in the game. Oh, our target is already dead. There we go. We are in the game now. We are doing shots. Not sure about focusing the Yag, but I think focusing the Yag is good here because your E3 will be able to deal with the S4 frontally, and if you come out, then maybe the Yag shoots you. If not, or maybe on top of that, the WT might shoot you as well. So just take the safe shots because the E3 is not going to die to the IS-4. You can tell this because it's an E3,
Mhm.
and but also because he's from SYS clan, which has good players. I don't know exactly how good they are, but I recognize the name. I know they're not bad, definitely not bad. So then I can expect him to be able to, well, bully the heavy tank. Again, he's being oh, that is the projectile accuracy right there. And another miss. Yeah, at this point I would be tempted to move up on the left.
These shots, you saw the dispersion. It's
Yeah, it's
crazy.
horrible dispersion.
It's crazy.
It's so bad, the dispersion on the projectile. But I also like him staying here because you can support the E3 better, and I was talking about this a bit on the server. Um, but to make an analogy, the heavy tank in Blitz is like the infantry on an ancient battlefield or medieval battlefield. The the backbone, that's the skeleton basically, that's the line, and then the army builds around it. You know, you have your cavalry on the flanks, you have your missiles, skirmishers, artillery, whatever. In the same way in Blitz you would have the heavy tanks define the line, the positions, you know, they're fighting, and then mediums, TDs, they play around those positions. In this case there are no heavy tanks, but the E3 has armor, and if it goes down, cool down in a position, then it can take on that role. But it needs more support to do it because it doesn't have a turret, it doesn't have many hit points. So yes, going back and supporting the E3 is good. He has a lot of hit points, but no armor, so there's not a whole lot he can do on by himself. Every help is appreciated, and you still need to be careful because both enemies are clippers. If you're out of position, it will take no time for your HP to disappear. Hello, Nino, Nino, however you're meant to say that. Welcome. I saw one of your games earlier, very nicely done. I made sure to criticize every mistake. Yeah, as I was saying,
Yeah. Good
I
evening,
wasn't,
everyone.
I wasn't commentating, but as the projecto Asel here moved around, he got hit a lot. as you would expect, because there's two autoloaders. And now this should be unlosable, because he's bluffing. He's already fired the rest of his clip. It should be unlosable because the Yo is clippable while he isn't clippable by the Yo, but barring a lot of RNG. So nicely done on the push. Yeah, that was a good game. I'm not sure I liked all of that moving around the entire map at the beginning. But that doesn't mean it was bad. Just I don't think it was optimal.
I have troubles when I feel that I I don't shoot for so long. Then I feel like I see my team dying, and so I feel I do wrong. So I think I still should work more on finding out when is the right time to make a big move and circle by spawn and go to the other side.
What I like to say is that you sort of have to match the pace of the game. So if
Mhm.
there's big brawls happening and everyone is fighting, then you have to influence those fights. You have to do something about it. If everybody's staying back and looking at each other across the map and nothing is happening basically, then the moment you try to do something, every gun will turn towards you and you'll get shot. So you cannot make the big play while everybody's waiting. You have to make the big play while something is going on. That's what I'm trying to say. And to show the progetto here, I have calibrated shells and vertical stabilizer, which is the setup I had for almost ever, and 0.335 dispersion. Um, what else shall we look at? 0.335. I knew I found one that was absolutely ridiculous to be 0.335. Object 260 is no point in looking. 0.317, completely different league. Oh yeah, I know it. WZ121 vertical stabilizer, 0.335, the exact same dispersion as the Progetto, and this has a 122. 113 is 0.326, I can tell you that from memory. What else is relatively... Oh, I'm curious about the Sheridan. 0.380, okay, it's not it's not as bad. T95 is 6.326, is also more accurate than a Progetto. T124, much more accurate than a Progetto. It's not type 71 levels of bad. Where is the type? Although Super Conqueror has the same accuracy. Oh no, it's actually worse. Sorry, the type 71 is 0.344. So it's one step better than the type 71. I think that's absurd, frankly. The Kran is more accurate than the Progetto, come on. This is a joke. I wonder if we still would have won if I stayed on the seaside. You mean at the very beginning of the game? It's tough to call, frankly, but mm, we don't know where everyone was. So you had a 4 versus 3 that we could see. IS4 was on the other side, Yak Tiger was on the other side, no idea about the WT. And it was coming, so it's hard to say, frankly. Let's upload it, have a look again. So that was early on, about here. Oh, so, and the STB is on the other side. So here we are 4 against 2. There's also the light tank. What was it? DLT. And so we have 3 tanks for sure here. STB is on the other side. IS4 is on the other side. The Yak Tiger was revealed later to be on the other side. So worst case scenario, you have even numbers. You are all full HP. They do have the Yo with a small gun though. Ah, okay. Cat. Okay, sorry about that. So if you moved in, I think you would win this flank. But okay, you are not full HP, but most and the STB went in. And this is what I mean, because they'll all be shooting the STB. If you all go in, you can get the tank in return, and then you should be able to do something, I think. This way, you know, you move away, they are going in, and it's a disjointed effort. They get shot up, but you're in the other sides. It's ambiguous, but generally speaking, I know I would have gone forward. I don't run away from battle. Although the Swedes do have a reputation for not running away from battle. Well, a reputation, a history of not running away from battle with all the Swedish Kingdom Empire. Was it Gustavus Adolphus? I know he revolutionized warfare and won the 30 Years' War. And now the cat has its paws on the keyboard. Bloody hell. Yes, yes, you love whoever gives you food, I know. Hey! Keep your cats outside. It's healthier. Anyway, what do we want to see next? We have seen all we had for TVPs and Progetto. What else? We have a bunch of... Actually, we still have one or two games that go 7 minutes. Those are sure to be fun to watch. Yeah, two of them. We have a bunch of Nino games. Let's go for this one. We have a guy from the SYS clan, so they ought to be good, playing the Foch 155. Do you have the Foch?
Yeah.
You do?
Yep. I like it.
Yes, it's a fun tank to drive. I wish it were more like an autoloader. 7.1 seconds in between shells feels like a lot of time. But it's got a lot of DPM, alpha, penetration, speed with a bit of armor. Yeah, it's an enjoyable tank to drive.
I like it when the team is, is moving, and you can follow along with the team, and you just have some support, and then you can, be rather in front line.
Yes, it does very well when played aggressively. You know, TDs are generally passive tanks. You stay back, you wait for something to drive at your gun, you pre-aim down corridors. This one being fast and turning quickly is quite good for playing aggressively. Another thing that's good for the tank and perhaps not for the game is the way its ammunition works. Its high explosives are low alpha, so 560 is for the AP. HE, I believe it's 680, which makes them not particularly satisfying to use. And even more, the hit shells are 545. So by loading heat and going up to 380 millimeters of penetration, you lose 15 damage. It's not as bad as the Hori, which has AP shells only, but sort of you can just load heat and turn your brain off, only look for spaced armor. I don't like that much. I like ammunition choice being a factor. Like if I load the hit, I want to load it because I need it. If I load the HE and hit, I want to be rewarded for it. This way, like I load hit, I shoot, and like there's no penalty really for it. And HE, I hit an HE and it's not satisfying. The accuracy of the Flash 155 is also fantastic. Okay, the accuracy is bad. That's why I run it with refined gun and vents, same as the Progetto. But it's not horrible, it's just because the Progetto is a medium, this thing is a 155mm gun. Hello, fanboy of Nino. I think that describes my entire audience actually. See ya Fahrenheit, enjoy your evening. Oh wait, you're going to work, I think. Happy drinking. Oh no, you're on vacation, I forgot. Yeah, happy drinking. Call me Yamato. Okay, Yamato. Ah, since I forgot, Yamato, if you haven't seen it, Ailstorm have put out on the latest album a song in partly in Hungarian. To my untrained ear, it sounded actually good, but you know how accurate the Hungarian is, or whatever they're talking about, because I don't understand a word of it. All I know is boss mag. Now this is getting interesting in terms of the game, because they're losing. Oh, okay, now that the type is dead, this game has just completely opened up. You can push on the SU. Your heavy can probably do something in the middle about B, and the Yag will be in a 1 versus 2 anyway. So worst case scenario, you can just drop into C and take the win on points. Um, Beautiful stuff. He's obviously going for damage. So would I. Sounds good. Also, you have seen it. Thing is, the Yag isn't clippable. However, this is what I don't like. Well, it doesn't matter now, but the Flash reloads its entire clip faster than the Yag reloads one time. Ah, that was lucky with the max roll. Yeah, that was nice. She could have backed up around the building and probably had time to reload. But around it wasn't a building, it was some cover there, but yeah. So nicely done, showing the Foch bouncing a bunch of shots, I believe. Yeah, almost 3k. DPM, he did miss a few shots here and there though. And since I was, wait, do I not have? I do have premium, okay. Since, oh, come on, I need to reopen it. Since I was talking about it, might as well check and stat shame the entire clan on stream. Stat shame myself. Also out, see ya. Okay, see ya, Asel. Thank you for coming. Have a good evening. So SYS. Oh, he beat me in that regard, that's for sure. So as you can see, 3k plus on the tier 10s. They're decent players. And well, those are rerolls. Give me something. Yeah, I mean, they're good players, that's for sure. So yes, playing according to the clans or the players that you see in game is a real thing. I'm not saying you should focus him because he's in EG or something like that, but if you see he's in a good clan, you can assume that he's going to make the correct play or play
Mm-hmm.
well, and then you won't try to farm him. I mean, outtrade him because you know he'll hit your cupola. You won't. Um, Maybe you won't let him die because you know he can help you as well. Maybe. Um, yeah, I forgot my train of thought, but that's the point. You know how he'll play and you can play accordingly. But you know, focusing him, that's not what I'm talking about. Also, Adam, if you're still here, your 50B's model tracks are off. I know you're working on it. I'm not sure whether you updated it. Leo 1 with the attachment for whatever. On Castilla again, so we know it's going to go 7 minutes. Everybody's going to be doing nothing. Do you have the Leo?
Yep.
You have the Leo as well?
I
Um,
I have it since very long. Was one of my first tanks.
you made the same mistake as me in taking Leo as your first tank, eh? Well, mine
It's
was second.
I had to have it. It's like just to put it in the garage. And no, it's like from long. I observe other players, and they did so well in tanks, and then I felt like I want to have these tanks too, assuming that I'm then as good as they are. Never happened.
Yeah, I got it early. It was my second tier 10 after the E50M, and I quite enjoyed it because back then I was researching the tier 10 and I didn't have time, sorry, credits to buy it. So I had the Leo researched before I even purchased the E50M. But here I wanted to make a quick point, namely, one thing I like to do on this side is just come around here and you can spot the RTDs if they're in that spot. This allows you to shoot them down, and if you have anyone on the ridge here, they can also shoot them. And I think from up there, your team can also shoot. There are several positions that can shoot them, but this is one of the few positions that can safely spot them. 183, Hori, maybe even the 4005. There's bound to be someone there. Take a blind shot, and now this is where the Leo shines. You have the most accurate gun in the game. You have the highest DPM medium tank in the game. Now that it also has 360 alpha, which you never ever feel. um, Damage will rack up quicker. You'll get more damage. You might get the kill a shot early. And oh, that's an issue. Cannot really make any advances on this side. And also, one thing you'll notice is that the FV215B is called Raid Falcon and has the pro avatar, but well, mostly the name means more than the avatar, if I'm being honest. Um, which in this case lets you know that he's not alone because he's not stupid. He will have backup, and you won't just be able to push and kill him. Now, very nice marksmanship there, hitting the viewport, but have making aggressive play and progress on this side I don't think is realistic. And also the play I mentioned in the last replay, which is going going here to hold, doesn't work because your team doesn't hold that part and either of those savies can climb up and shoot you in the back. So at this point, if you're getting pushed, you have to get out. They only have one medium in the team along with the 215B here. So for the most part you're safe, apart from say the 4005 coming under you and clipping. Then it's an issue. Critical calibration. At this distance, even the Leo gun sometimes misses, so it's a welcome addition. Well, I'm not sure whether I welcome it in terms of what it means for the game, but it definitely doesn't hurt the tank. And he is starting to run away, seeing that the enemies are being aggressive. I think he suspected, the way I did a bit earlier, that one of their TDs is pushing with them, because in the 2 versus 2 they would be able to hold. But seeing how it went, I think the 140 got impatient and the 215B wanted to help him out. As in to not let him die in vain. We see some messages in chat here. We don't see them because I have the chat disabled, but something happened. He must have written something. 15B fell back, which suggests that he is not supported. And this is something that, you know, if this were a random nobody, I wouldn't be confident that he doesn't have support, you know? If I know he's a good player, I know his play makes sense, and then you can play around that. So there is a certain advantage to having good enemy players. Of course, there's the disadvantage of they'll just beat you up because they're good. He's a one shot, nothing he can do about it. Oh, very nice shot. Fired a risky early shot because if you miss, you'll have the reload anyway. And if you hit, you don't get hit back. Beautifully done. And there's only 1 minute and 30 seconds left of this game. Because it's Castilian, nothing happens on it. Everybody camps. However, this is doable. Because there are TDs with few hit points, and if his team pushes, which they are killing the VK as we speak, then this is very, very possible. Is that even very possible? Yeah, that's an awful expression. It's plausible, let's put it like that. But that FV is going to be a bit of an issue to reach. Yeah, he needs the YAG and the IS-7 to do something ASAP. Yes, very good track shot. Not a track shot. Oh, gets a bit lucky and he's dead. 13 seconds left. And the Hori is still a 2-shot if I remember. Oh no, he's on 13 HP, he's a 1-shot. 3, 2, 1, and he ran out of time. Oh, that sucks. Ah, that's so unfortunate. You fight the entire game, 7,700 damage, and then you run out of time. And there's... So the Hori was on 13 hit points, the Evi on 100 and something. We can no longer see the damage totals because the new UI... Actually, it's not even UI. The new battle result screen is garbage. Oh wait, I'm repeating myself. That's a pleonasmic expression, isn't it? Yeah, but that great game, unfortunate finish. That was a rough one. Ouch.
And today I was struggling with finding where I could see. I was not sure if the Amorak was a full life Amorak. I did an Amorak on a P57 today with the Yo, and what was then finally I found it, but it took me like a minute to see where I can get the information. You know.
You can always watch the replay. If it looks particularly good, you can even film it, post it on the server.
Now I can special moment.
Yeah, because
It was
especially if it's
was
the
a
small gun, then it's it's
yeah
quite remarkable.
I was 1600 something.
It was
Amorak
in
2
full
was
HP,
not
but
full. No, it was not full. So
it's still big.
he took a
That's
hit. Most probably he took a hit right before me to his Amorak, so that I could. But there was a 4.6K game. I did was a fast one, like 3 minutes on, and I was
What
happy to have this damage.
what gun were you using? The big one or the small one?
I use mainly the small one.
That one has a bigger DPM and smaller module damage because it's a smaller gun, smaller caliber. So getting an ammo rack is even more remarkable with that gun.
Yeah, let's have to say I was lucky.
Well, luck favors the daring. I don't remember how it was. Oh, speaking of Yo and T-57, here we have a T-57 from Angry Bird again. And I didn't watch any of these games except for the ones I played myself. But I read the description for it and it sounded pretty good, to say the least.
Mhm.
Yes, cannot really peek with the T-57 into anything, you don't have any armor. So unless you know you'll get the full clip and get back a shot, well, maybe two, depends. You're better off not really trying. Here he gets two shots for free. Very nice. And notice how, again, we have one of those maps that nobody likes. In this case, it's Mines. So again, a map, nobody does anything, just stale gameplay. I think I've noticed he used his repair kit for the viewport. The viewport lowers your view range when destroyed. So destroyed viewport lowers your view range. A critically damaged one, so yellow, like his track is right now, does nothing. So repairing it is a waste of a repair kit. Um, E100 and mouse flacking at the same time, that's not where you want to be. And sadly he missed one. Very interesting play here to just go in. He goes away from the, or gets away from the um, SU gun, which is the highest DPM gun in the game, and also puts cover in between him and the 100, which means that only the mouse will be able to shoot him, and the mouse has bad DPM. So it makes sense, although he did take a lot of damage, there's not too much he could have done about taking those shots. His TDs are at the back and take care of those two, and it all goes well in the end. A very tense situation there and very interesting and destructive there. So you have to take shots, you can choose who you take them from.
Mhm.
He finds D4. I know I wouldn't have used the consumable there. Actually, a damage track reduces your accuracy on the move and decreases your dispersion while staying still. Um, I don't know about that. I was talking about the viewport. About the damage track, I never heard that. Here's the move and decreases the dispersion staying still. Huh. No, I've never heard that. I'll have to look it up and see what's it all. But if anything, I would expect a damage track or suspension module to reduce your traverse speed. That, that would intuitively make sense. Gets a good clip there, as his 183 is actually pushing the SU back. Yes, you've heard it right, the TD moved up from spawn and actually from one side to the other. He's doing something. And here we'll see one reason why Mines is such an annoying map to play on, which is that from this position, or well, positions in spawn, you can basically cover the entire map. And it's very easy to move a little bit to see the bit that... It's very easy to make adjustments to your position, small adjustments, that will allow you to see the other parts of the map. So here, as I was saying, from this position, he can shoot anywhere on the map. Well, on all three approach avenues, to say so. And then you have one TD or two TDs or three TDs here, and anywhere you go, there's TDs at the back. So it's very hard to do anything. Just in time clutch reload to deal with the T-22 there. And now there's the SU-12254 platoon left. One of them was on 400 and a bit, so most likely two shot. Now the other one appears to be a complete one shot. Oh, okay. Ooh. That was so close. I could have loaded an HE there because that would have been enough for the kill, and if you hit the track, at least to track him, you can shoot again. Here he should load a hit actually, and he doesn't, so he has a single shell in the magazine. He notices it very quickly and switches to hit. Very well played there. Same thing that I mentioned in Nino's game earlier with the TVP.
Mm-hmm.
Very well done. I know this. Whenever I watch a replay, I notice that instantly, and whenever I'm playing, I never notice it. So I know very well how it is. So someone hit one of the SUs because I'm not, or my memory is faulty. But he can just approach him because he's a two-shot. Although I will expect the SU to come in the bush, so very good to pre-aim here. That's unlucky. Correct to stop and make sure. And now he should be able to catch up to him because he doesn't have a turret. Although he will be fighting for the draw by the looks of it. Oh, he didn't drop. You need to get the high ground. Nice. And now he cannot go back up. 2, 1. And on 0 seconds, he clinches the win. Not even close. There's not a whole lot of damage by today's standards. I cherry picked the games from the server, so they better be good. But 7-minute long tactical game on mines, very nice. Okay, what is left? We have multiple games from Nino. We have some games from me and motivation. Okay, what tank do we have? 30B, 4202, T62A, and 50B.
50B.
50B. Okay, now let me find it. This is the 50B. It's mine. Of all replays, you managed to pick mine.
I
So
like the 50B.
now I'll have to criticize myself. This model is made by Adam. He has, or is making a newer version. It looks good anyway, but the newer version will look even better if you're interested. As far as I know, it's currently only for Steam, but it might be also brought on Android. iOS I don't think does modding. This is the new 50B. So all of the games I picked are from 9.1. I deliberately ignored 9.0 games because of the balance changes. They will no longer be very relevant, although not a whole lot changed. Showcasing new tanks seems like the logical thing to do. Now here I don't have a lot of faith in pushing the rails, so I'm fighting this. That's a trade. And here I didn't realize the 60 TP would have a shot on me. I thought I'd be in cover, but he can just go through my turret. So having lost almost 1,000 hit points for one shot, I decided to just go on the other side, frankly, which is also the good play because we have only 2 tanks on the other flank against 3, while here we ought to have the numbers advantage. I decide that losing less than 1,000 hit points isn't too good, so I lose 150 more while jumping off the thing. I could have gone around, but at the moment I was still deciding whether I want to go up or down. Here I switched to HE and let the IS-4 finish, because, well, there's 2 reasons. First reason is because I'm a dirty damage farmer, but also by shooting this guy with HE I can get more alpha than the IS-4 can get into him. So letting the IS-4 finish makes sense. Now we reload for the Hori Samurai, which, considering that they have called the Japanese heavy samurais, hasn't aged too well as a name for the camo. One in the grill and go for reload. And now I want to go for the grill. This, as I think Fahrenheit brought to my attention, isn't particularly clever because you're not making this push. But if he hadn't backed off and had stayed up, I could have easily killed him. This way it's not happening. Now the debate is whether you want to kill him in the first place, because if I take a shot I become a one shot for everyone and that's not fun. So deciding that I cannot make this happen, I'm going back on the rails and preparing for some fire sport. Grille, as predicted, fell back and then he would have been unpushable, not safely at least. And going around takes a while.
Here I'm never sure which side I should take.
What do you mean, which side, left or right?
Yeah, on top of the bridge.
Oh, you mean here on the left or here on the right or on the ramps?
No, on top, you came
On top
up
here.
and the enemies were still at B. So I have the tendency to go on the right side here. And but sometimes, if they turn to you, you
Yes.
have a hard time to get away.
So in this scenario, the enemies were in the city and they had captured C. Yeah, C is there. Ooh, nice building. So I came up like this, and if I go here, I am obviously safer, although there's still some cross shots. But the reason I didn't do this is because I get the same angles as my teammates here. This is the Progetto and the S4 was down here. Where is the S4? Oh, the S4 is behind. Oh, here, yes. And if I come here, we have pretty much the same angle, and if the enemies just go on the other side, there's nothing, we cannot engage them in fighting. Whereas if I come like this, I have a different angle and I can just fuck them up. The issue obviously is that they had just captured C and they can be there, but I didn't really expect anyone to stay here like this and wait for me to go there while everybody's in the middle. So if someone is coming, my expectancy is that he's in the open and then I can clip him, even if I take a shot or two back. But I could not find him, and this is obviously a bit risky, but let's just kill him. And with a fire, that's a massive clip. And just to be sure, let me restart it and have another look, because I don't remember exactly right now how it went. I might be wrong on what I was saying, so make sure. Because this is a live stream, I'm not posting clickbait YouTube videos, so I have to be a bit careful, right? That's the other way around. Right, so here I'm going back. Are they even getting spotted? Yes, look. This is why I went around, actually, now that I remember. They're all spotted over there. So if there's someone there, it's just the Yo. But since it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for him to be alone, chances are he followed the other ones.
Mhm.
And I am in danger of getting clipped. I'm 923. I'm also 50B, so there's the danger of me getting a cheat. So yes, I'm taking a risk of the Yo being right left of me. But it worked out. And with a bit of fire, that clip is massive. Just absolutely destroyed him. Now I go around. Ah, no, I don't go around, see? I'm waiting here. I have a projector with me, so I'm trying to be safe. And I don't remember what mission exactly, but I had a mission to get. I needed the win basically, so that's why I kept. My mission was something like get class 2 or class 1, and getting those undefeated is unlikely, so I just kept
Mhm.
the base, make sure we win, and then we'll farm the damage. So I get the base, and also their points at 800 are getting close. Progetto is dead, so if I hadn't capped we might have lost. And here's an interesting moment. I keep 3 shells in the magazine rather than reloading, because it, the Yo has seen me fire basically, knows I fired because I killed that guy. The tortoise is clippable, so I'm thinking he might just want to push into us, and if I'm on a reload I cannot punish him, so that's why I keep 3 shells. And here
Mhm.
I move out with 3 shells because I didn't want to go on a reload, frankly. I ran into him. That was a horrible shot, but it's very unlikely to go in anyway. And now this is a bit of a misplay. I should have gone further out of his way, I think, because I underestimated how long the reload is, and he can, had he not been so slow, he would have gotten to me before I reloaded. This way, well, he's also not the best player in the world, and I get HE clip with fire.
Wow.
Yes,
Wow.
not particularly skillful, but impressively devastating. And that's an ace, and to show at the end. So in this guy with, I had 5 shots for 2050 damage. This guy 3 shots for 1874 damage. There's 3 HEs, so that's 1500, and the rest is fire. Yeah, the fire. This guy 3 shots 1300, that's acceptable. Set them on fire, get some HEs in, and it's absolutely devastating. And since everybody who was watching has probably fallen asleep, well, actually, no, it's just me watching. Let's do one more game and call it a day.
Mhm.
What do we have? So we have 422, we have T62, and we have 30B.
Mhm. 30B.
30B. This is, I should warn you, a noob matchmaking game by one Tiro Potens.
Um, can you tell me exactly when you see something that is typically noob matchmaking?
Well, I know it's noob matchmaking because it's Paul's noob matchmaking account.
Yeah, but it's like that. Everyone is below this 5,000 games.
I think it's 5,500, yeah.
Yeah, but if these are all rerolls, that you can fight against 7 9-0s, in fact, you know.
Yes, it's most of the players are new, and most of the rerolls are not particularly good. So I don't have. Actually, I do have a second account. I played something like 4 battles on it, and I haven't. I've completely forgot about it, and I don't know the account for it anymore. To be perfectly accurate, but no, I don't have any experience playing in new matchmaking, so I cannot really comment on this. But just watching, you see a lot of this, which in regular matchmaking, if you pick like that, you get hit, you get penetrated in the cupola or even in the hole because
Mhm.
he's picking quite high. These guys don't. Again, in armored tanks, they're unlikely to shoot hit, although I think that was a hit shell from the bad shot, I'm not certain. So he just farms that guy. He was a noob, and you know, he just goes up and farms him. He took 1 shot in return. Whereas in normal matchmaking, most likely that wouldn't happen because he wouldn't be alone, and also because he would be able to fight back. So he moves around and he cannot do it. He recognizes it, but he doesn't get shot. Of course, this is also viewer bias. I'm expecting to see this happen, and therefore I see it, even though it's not
Mhm.
necessarily as exaggerated as I make it out to be. The IS-8 fails to get a shot in. I think the bad shot is a reroll, actually, judging by his name. And the fact that he's not completely useless. How good he is, I'm not able to tell. He'd rather... This, I'm pretty sure this is not what he intended. Yes, he took 2 shots from the bad shot. He would have been better off taking 1 shot from the IS-8 and hiding away from the bad shot. But okay. He got the kill, and... Ooh. Yeah, the bad shot is clearly better than the other ones. And you can see he's going backwards and forwards because he's comfortable with
Mhm.
his controls, while the noobs, like the IS-8, you saw he was just standing still and turning his turret. So he's either a reroll or he has experience with mobile gaming, and this is, you know, he has basically aptitudes that allow him to learn a lot quicker.
Mhm.
Or, because not everything is a reroll, he could be a player from another server that made an account on this one, and then it's hard to call that a reroll because it's his only account on the server. Oh, that was unlucky. Looked perfectly aimed to me. And it's 2 versus 4. While he's the 1 shot at 192 hit points. Oh, come on, man. You could have aimed it a bit more. Of course, it was unlucky. Obviously, it was unlucky, but you could have aimed it a bit more. If memory serves me right, you do have the 30B, don't you?
Yeah, I have it.
This another one like the Leo where I have to have it, or any particular reason for it?
Um, no, I think it's a collector, isn't it?
Yes.
I just got it once in a whatever box crate.
Ah, yes, you're a gambling addict. Sorry, I forgot about that.
Yeah, once in a while, I feel like I need. I like this collect them all uh, crates.
Ah, so you're a kleptomaniac as well.
I once in a while I cannot uh, let it be. And I
Yeah,
grab some.
yeah, I get what you're saying, but I don't understand buying crates. I don't understand buying crates. I don't agree with buying crates. Getting back to the game, he took out the Yag with a lucky shot. Oh, lucky shot. Considering the number of unlucky shots he had had previously, it was reasonable to hit at some point. And now he's making distance and doing the good old switch where You go one way, get unspotted, and then turn around, so the enemies expect you on one side, but you're in fact on the other one.
Mm-hmm.
Especially effective on the new matchmaking, where they're noobs. If you do this in regular matchmaking and you run into better players, they will anticipate this move sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Depends. This is another thing. If you see a enemy that you recognize as being good, then you can better expect him to make this sort of play. Continuing on the earlier train of thought, and the T-57, oh, that was so close. Haha, good try, good try.
Uh-huh.
Because he had to try it, otherwise the 30B has every advantage, and it was very, very close, thanks to adrenaline. He does get the Spartan medal. Oh, Pools, Kolobanovs, 2001 vs 4. Very nice game. We had a lot of nice games. It's as if we took the best of the best rather than looking at my crappy stuff. So thank you to the one viewer I'm assuming is still here, or it isn't, for watching, and everybody who joined at some point. Thank you, Bonsai or Danny, for coming and joining me on this pointless adventure.
Thank you for just giving all these explanations. It's really helpful, and I hope some sticks and I can put it into practice.
Well, I hope you won't put into practice more the mistakes I undoubtedly made at some point.
You point the mistakes out, and then often I recognize myself in some situation that I do it. I think today what I was really appreciating is that you point out that these good players, that they never go alone, and if I don't spot the enemy, I have the tendency to think, well, there's only one, I can go, and then I'm surprised that the situation changed the moment I peek, and this yeah, I think this was very good that you point this out. I know it, but yeah, I forget while I'm playing. Maybe it's next stuff.
All the talk about good players and how you can play around them is quite an, oh, pardon, I would say an advanced concept, because that's something you add on a solid base, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
Like, you think of the plays and then you make a change, or think, so to make a decision where you aren't sure based on this, or you draw extra information for a decision. But frankly, most of the time you won't be thinking about this, and it isn't really necessary to think about this.
Hmm.
It's an extra, really, just playing the game correctly, and there's an understanding the game state and what would do your team good. There was a game, YouTube video, I think Tommy made it back when he was doing YouTube, where on Old Castilia he would go and snipe in the Batchat, and he said, yes, I know, Batchat isn't a good sniping tank, but I can't do anything on the map, and my team needs someone here to provide fire support, so I'll go and do that.
Hmm.
And that makes sense, because you make the best play that you can to help your team. So if you're a heavy tank, it doesn't mean that you have to every single time be at the front and take the shots. If you're a TD, it doesn't mean that you have to be at the back. If you're a light tank, it doesn't mean that you have to flank. It's a good
Hmm.
general guideline to do that, but all of those rules are principles, guidelines. Like, well, to give the classic analogy, like in chess, give you the principles, fight for the center, develop your pieces early, castle your king before, I don't know, move 7, what it was. Um, don't move the same piece twice until you have good development. And then you watch championship matches, neither of them castles, pawns are on the side of the board, and all of these things that go against the principles. But they know when and how to go against the principal.
Mhm.
Like they are too that good basically. But um, you have those principles. Like if you're a light tank, you want to provide vision. You don't want to take hits. If you're a heavy tank, you want to take some shots for the team. You want to fight your enemy directly. If you're a tank destroyer, you want to be pre-aiming and looking, anticipating enemy movements. All in all, it's I think this sort of learning by seeing others do is very very strong, because if you learn it by yourself just by playing, it will take forever.
Yeah.
You
No,
have to
it's
discover everything.
yeah. No, I like to see sometimes, some positions other players take, in a certain tank that they are with that tank they are really hull down, and so I was not aware that this would work. So next time I try, or it's how I learn about the climb on Castilla. That with the faster tanks, you can take two routes to go up on the backside of the houses, and so this is helpful, and you can practice it then, and once you have it, it's part of a fast move. You do a first spot, maybe have some first damage.
Yes.
Yeah.
So seeing others play is very helpful, and you watch multiple people. I mean, if you watch just one guy, you learn to play like him. But if you watch games from multiple people, instead of watching say 100 games from the same guy, you watch 10 games from 10 guys. You expose yourself to more ideas that you can
Hmm.
incorporate in how you like to play.
Hmm. No, that's why I like uh, the server. With those replays, amazing replays from excellent players, and see some moves they do and positions they take. And
Yeah,
yeah,
each plays in
once I,
his way. Yeah.
yeah, and once in a while I can use something in my games. Then sometimes I feel like, what does it help that I learn all this because my team, after 1 minute, they are still in spawn discussing where they should go, right or left. Those games is horrible. It's horrible for me then to make something out of it.
It's every game is different. Not every game has the potential for you to do something right.
Hmm.
That's the thing. Sometimes your team wins even if you're AFK. Sometimes your team loses convincingly even if you play perfectly.
Hmm.
But there's those games in between that you can have an impact in, and a big impact in. Yes,
Yeah,
just being
at the moment I
pragmatic.
feel that on tier 8, I'm on a level that I can have a big impact. I have games on tier 8 where I end up with 3,000, and the second best in my team has roughly 1,000. Of course, it's a loss. I cannot carry more yet, but um, it's. I feel like I did most of the things right. And when I play ratings, you even get the feedback by the positive points that you get as only one in your team because you lost, but you still um, improve 30 points or so. And this I like, to get the feedback that I did well, although I couldn't carry the team.
Yes. I'll just end the stream right now. So see you
Okay.
everyone